Hey guys, it's Mayonnaise. So today I'm doing Author's Answers number 13. Can you recommend an author you enjoy that is not well known? Why did you choose them? So the hardest part of this question for me is choosing one. So you know what? I'm not going to. So in no particular order, here are a few of the people that I enjoy that aren't well known. So Assaph Mehr, he wrote Murder in Absentia, and his next book is, going through the process. It's going to be released hopefully soon, and he writes this intriguing blend of fantasy, historical fiction, and hard-boiled detective stories all in one, and it's so fun. That's, the bottom line there. It's just really fun to read. I love the main character, Felix. He really sells the whole thing for me, even if the world wasn't as amazing as it is, which it is amazing. It's awesome, and it's full of all these rich details and characters and things like that. But Felix alone, I love Felix. And he actually put together a quiz, like one of those Facebook quizzes that you can take. And it was to see which character you are from that series. And I took it, and I am Felix. And then I actually took it again because he had posted it for an author takeover event or something like that. And so I took the test again, and I was Felix a second time, so it must be true. So I definitely recommend that book. I read it maybe a year ago, and I was absolutely blown away. I just had the best time reading it, and I have the amazing opportunity of beta reading his work in progress, and I'm about halfway through, and I am in heaven because everything that I loved about the first book is still there and more, because it's just building on that. And I know that he has other Felix stories in his head, so I'm very excited to extract them. Alright, and then another author that I enjoy that isn't well known is J.D. Estrada. And every time I've got a poetry book of his, I end up reading it pretty much all at one sitting. And he always has phrases that stand out to me and kind of punch me in the gut and make me think, and I enjoy that. And I enjoy that he has wittiness and humor, and he puts all of that personality that he has into that. And so it's a really good reflection of him. And I just, if you like poetry, or if you don't know if you like poetry, I would recommend him because it's something that you can read and enjoy, and it's not going to be... I think a lot of people are turned off of poetry because they remember, roses are red, violets are blue, and, 10 pages discussing the merits of leaves in the autumn. And so he's not like that. So you can enjoy yourself and get submerged in the world and thinking about the points that he's making. And he has quite a few collections now, and so there's different themes that you can choose from. I also read a short story collection, Daydreams, from the Sherbet Shore, and that I thought was absolutely whimsical and charming and wonderful bedtime stories. I read that book, before I went to bed, and it was very nice, and I really liked that book. And he has another book too that I'm going to read. I haven't read it yet. The Only Human series. It's I believe it's like sci-fi, and I'm looking forward to reading that because it's just that's part of why I recommend him, because he has all of these different things that he's willing to tackle, and I think that that's admirable, and everything that I've read so far I have thought, cool, thanks. Okay, let's see. Couple more. So and then we have Jacopo della Quercia, and I mean, I'm not sure how well known he is. I didn't know until fairly recently about this fabulous person. I found him on Twitter. He is a writer of he has 2 novels that are out that I read both of them, and I actually love them so much that I got several people that I know to read them, and then we discussed them, and you know, everybody was excited. And so anyway, I actually reviewed both of those books, so if you wanted me to go further into it, I could gush about it all day. I mean, he's definitely one of my all-time favorites at this point, and you know, he's a little different from the other 2 because he does have a little blue check mark by his name, but still, I didn't know about him. He's not like a name that, it's like Neil Gaiman. Everybody pretty much knows Neil if you're somebody who's really into, you know, fantasy and stuff, but Jacopo is writing like steampunk and historical fiction mashed together, and he's doing a really amazing job of it. So he takes real life events, because he has a historian background, which is fabulous. And part of the reason I love his books is at the bottom there's all these footnotes of things that happen in history that you can look up that he's used as a framework for his novels. It's brilliant. It's a really cool thing, and it doesn't diminish from the fun, you know, because I think that some people get scared that a lot of historical fiction or history in general is boring, and you know, I get that because I have read plenty of it that just drones on and on and on. But his books aren't like that. His books are the type of thing where you're reading it and you feel like your eyes are like getting really wide, and you know, it's pretty exciting stuff, and no boring moments, not even for a second. So definitely I recommend him. And then finally I'm going to say Joshua Robertson and J.C. Boyd, who write together a lot of the times, and I have read several books by them. I've read a novella by J.C. Boyd as well, and I've read novellas by Joshua Robertson as well, and also a novella that Joshua wrote with his wife, Lilian Oake, who is also amazing. So basically the whole Robertson clan there I recommend, and they're pretty different. So I mean, Joshua and JC are like, they're doing dark fantasy and they have created this amazing world. And I did review Anarfell, one of their books, on this channel, 5 stars of course, and they just have created this world, and they're brothers, and they've been creating it for years, and it shows because it's just so detailed. It's so detailed, and it's like second nature for them. At least that's how it feels when you're reading it. I don't know, I'm not there behind the scenes as they're sitting there scribbling it together, but it feels like it's just so vivid and natural, and so it makes it really cool. And the characters, a lot of them aren't people that you necessarily like, but they're certainly very, very interesting. So Lilian Oake, I'm gonna throw her in there because she is married to Joshua, and on her books are amazing as well. And so I'm just talking about the whole clan, right? So she writes children's books and young adult books, and they are charming and whimsical, and she's had fairies and ogres, and she has her own world that she's developed, which is really cool and full of all of these amazing creatures. So she's not, the dark fiction like they are. She's like the light side of that. She's like the 2 sides of a coin or something. And so there'll be a reason for everything, like a moral of the tale. But sometimes it's like the Grimm brothers tale, you know, like the old-fashioned fairy tales where the moral isn't like the Disney version. So I quite like that. Like the ogre's tale definitely for me felt very very timeless. So yeah, I definitely would recommend her. I loved Nataya. I found it really charming. I really loved the main character, the fairy, who was very naughty. And I look forward to reading more books by her. So anyway, I'm sorry I couldn't choose just one. That's too hard. And I feel bad because I'm leaving out a million more. I could just go on forever. But I shouldn't because that's too much. Alright, well, I'm gonna have my tea and I hope that you have tea too. I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.